Hello America, this is Joe, and this is the history of the 1973 soybean embargo on Japan. Between 1940 and 1949, there was a rise of American soybean production. This is because of the start of World War II in 1939. The crop doubled during the war and increased an astonishing number of 77% in America. There was a shortage of domestic oils and fats created by the war. The outbreak of war between Japan and the U.S. in December 1941 cut off all U.S. imports of East Asian oils. This caused farmers to immediately increase soybean production from 6 million acres to 9 to 10 million acres. The U.S. became Europe's leading provider in soybeans and fats and oils because of this. There was a fear that after the war, the need for soybeans would decrease. That was a lie. By 1955, Japan became America's largest single customer for soybeans and soybean products. Now with Christian, with why the embargo happened.
Thanks, Joe. In a move to prevent food shortages and to hold down the price of livestock feed, President Nixon asked Congress in his June announcement for control of exports on farm products. This was in response to Secretary of Agriculture Earl L. Butz's recommendation to protect the nation's meat supply. Reports of U.S. farmers destroying livestock due to the skyrocketing price in livestock feed. Butz remarked that this action to withhold soybean exports was drastic. The director of the Cost of Living Council, John T. Dunlop, said that the action put first the dinner table of the American consumer. Next up, Andrew Canaris will tell you the effects this embargo had.
I'm now going to discuss how this embargo affected the U.S., starting off with some short-term effects. Some respondents described the disruption of this embargo as market chaos. All segments of marketing chain were thrown off, resulting in a jammed commodity pipeline, labor problems, confusion, and added expenses. These expenses included a demurrage expense on barge and rail transportation, an added interest expense for carrying inventories that could not be shipped. Prices were described as declining immediately with strong volatility at lower price levels. Some long-term effects described by respondents included lost exports and lost world market share. The United States was now considered an unreliable supplier of agricultural commodities, which increased competition from countries like Canada, British Columbia, Brazil, and Argentina. Information from farm organizations indicated a unanimous opposition to the embargo. This is mostly because now the United States had fostered a reputation that it was an unreliable supplier of agricultural commodities, as previously stated. From the farmer's perspective, this embargo encouraged other countries to increase production and exports. I'm now going to hand it off to Cameron about some lessons to be learned about trade embargoes.
Thanks, Andrew. America did not benefit from this embargo long term. Many American farmers lost plants and lost a lot of money as a result of the embargo. The embargo created an 8,000% price hike on exports to Japan. From May 1973 to July 1973, prices went from $3.27 to $8.98. So American farmers lost in the end because they could no longer be viewed as a reliable source of soybeans for Japan, which heavily relies on soybeans. It's the equivalent of getting rid of salt on the American food tables. And now that happened, Brazil, Argentina, and a few other countries have now become exporters to Japan on this market that we otherwise control 92% of. And we exported 3 million tons of soybeans to them yearly. So in the end, farmers lost money, they lost crops, and the Americans ultimately did not do well in this. It is important to note that protecting the American market can also hurt the American market at the same time, and restricting business at any level can ultimately hurt a business. Prices barely changed for American consumers, it hurt farmers, and protectionism caused money to go from our American pockets to other countries' pockets in South America. And in the end, it was not a good policy. And that is it. God bless you, and God bless America.